28th, and I'm back, and you know what that means? Hey! So, what did everyone think? Good? Yes, I hope so. I hope you guys all liked it. And here are my thoughts on it. I forgot when I was talking about it the first time when I recommended it to you how many other characters there are. I kind of accidentally focused just on Adam and Crowley and Aziraphale and forgot everyone else. Whoops. I completely forgot about Anathema Device and Newton Pulsifer and Shadwell and Madame Tracy. Whoops. And that's not even going into all the other little characters who pop up here and there, which is stupid because I actually really like all the other characters, especially Shadwell, who's the description of the accent. Hang on, I'll try and find that because it's hilarious and amazing. I give up, I can't find it. But yeah, it describes his accent as kind of taking a walking tour around England and just deciding here and there what kind of accents to pick up, which is brilliant. The descriptions in Good Omens are just really funny. There's just certain phrasing that I really, really like. A guilty expression passed across his face and then came back and camped there. That's just so Pratchett. It's brilliant. I really like the way that a lot of things are put. And there's also all the I've kind of realised after reading it again how really it's very British. It's got a very English bent to it. So like in the footnotes on page 189 on my copy anyway, there's like a whole footnote saying, a note for Americans and other city-dwelling life forms. The rural British, having eschewed central heating as being far too complicated and in any case weakening moral fibre, prefer a system of piling small pieces of wood and lumps of coal, topped by large wet logs, possibly made of asbestos, into small smouldering heaps known as "there's nothing like a roaring open fire, is there?" Since none of these ingredients are naturally inclined to burn, underneath all of this they imply a small rectangular waxy white lump, which burns cheerfully until the weight of the fire puts it out. These little white blocks are called firelighters. No one knows why. And all the stuff about old money, like the shillings and the halfpenny, threepenny bit, and saying at the bottom the British resisted decimalised currency for a long time because they thought it was too complicated. It's just and all the road names and the kind of the mental image of the tiny little village in the middle of the countryside, which I can picture really easily because I've been to a lot of those, you know, those kind of villages with, you know, beautiful rural surroundings and settings, but I don't know what the American equivalent would really be. My favourite characters are definitely Aziraphale and Crowley, and I absolutely adore their relationship, and I think that's why I focused so much on them when I was recommending the book, because they're the ones that I remember the most. They stick out in my mind as, you know, being the two big characters in Good Omens. I think that's because throughout the book there's a lot of tension between heaven and hell, and they are kind of stuck on the receiving end of, you know, their boss's anger, really. They're the only two who could really get in deep shit for not doing the things they're supposed to do, if that makes sense. So when there's the bit where Aziraphale talks to heaven and gets the Metatron, the voice of God, and accidentally gets whipped off back to heaven, that's not such a big deal. But then when Crowley gets in deep trouble and gets Hastur and Liga, I don't know how you pronounce those really, sent after him, and he has to, you know, defend himself with holy water and do tricks with the phone line. I mean, it's a big deal, really. They're demons and angels, they've got nowhere else to go. They can literally be tortured for eternity, so yeah, I guess that's why I remember them so much, because the tension is really quite intense, where their fates are concerned. But it all turns out well in the end, hooray! Oh, another note, love the Horseman. I completely forgot about the Horseman, really, and especially Death. I really like Death, and how when they come together in the diner, he's just casually in the corner doing the jukebox, the Trivial Pursuit machine. Tell me what you thought of Good Omens, because it's one of my favourite books, and I just love it to bits. We made it! Another note, I'm going to put a link in the below bar to some Good Omens fan fiction, just some that I've, you know, seen here and there quite recently for your entertainment. So I thought that since we started off with something relatively small, we could move on to something more challenging. So, without further ado, I present our next book, Clarissa. Obviously I'm joking, because that would be monstrous and cruel, and that's exactly what my English course has decided to inflict on me for next year. Ladies and gentlemen, meet my main book that I've got to read over the summer, Clarissa. Okay, there's about 1,500 pages of this. I like reading, but no one likes reading this much. It's thicker than my arm. So we're not doing Clarissa because that would be insane and I'd have to give you forever to finish it. this is the book. This is The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton. It's kind of a classic-ish book. I mean, it pops up sometimes on those lists of 100 books to read before you die. I first picked this up in my school library when I was in secondary school, and it had a different cover to this, more engaging. I mean, this looks a lot older. I mean, the price on the back is 80p, which gives you an idea of how old this book is. The cover that I first picked up had kind of just a plain orange background with 4 or 5 boys silhouetted across the bottom, kind of slouching along, which looked a lot more interesting than this one does. But you know, don't judge a book by its cover. This one is the copy that my granny had, so that it's got like a North Wiltshire County Council sticker on it. It's set in 1965. It's about a boy called Ponyboy and his friends and his family. And his family, it doesn't include his parents. His parents are dead. His family are his 2 older brothers, Soda Pop and Darry. And they're a gang of greasers, which are kind of like working class boys. There's an incident where Ponyboy and his friend Johnny get into a fight with a few Soch kids, and who are like richer boys from the nicer side of town, and something goes wrong. One of the boys ends up dying, and basically everything goes completely badly, you know, really badly. And I think that you guys will like it, and it's definitely an easy book to pick up from a library, and you know, it's quite small, so it should be cheap online. I'll put an Amazon link below in case any of you want to get it from there. So yeah, tell me, because it's quite a short book, and I read Good Omens in like 2 days, but I know that I read a lot faster than a lot of people, so tell me in the comments below if you want a week or 2 weeks, and I'll just go with whatever the majority decides. So yeah, next book, The Outsiders. I hope you enjoy it. See you guys soon! I'm gonna put up a video before the next book review, hopefully, so see you soon. Bye!